all, but we want to welcome back Jesse Cook to Winnipeg, and we have the Burton Cummings Theatre here, a little bit more spiffed up for you.
I know, it's very fancy. They've got new paint backstage, and I think they may have even changed the change rooms a little bit, you know, add a little new linoleum back there or something.
Yeah.
But they haven't really done anything here, which I like, because I love this theatre. I don't want it to change. It's
and
beautiful.
The sound, especially for your music, is going to be wonderful.
It's the best. I love these old theatres, and this one in particular. We've had a lot of really fun nights here.
So a lot of theaters, a lot of travel, and I guess, you know, fans, whatever, when Jesse Cook brings out a new album, where did he travel? What other country is he bringing into us? But this one's different, and I kind of love it, because you didn't go anywhere.
I didn't go anywhere. I didn't even leave the house, you know. I sat around in my bathrobe and made this record. No, it started with my son, who's 7, or was 7 at the time, and he wanted to get on the computer like kids do, and in my studio, the computer is connected to all the gear, and I was terrified that he was going to break something, so I really didn't. Yeah, well, I didn't want him to do it, and he kept persisting, and finally I relented, and so he got on and started playing, and I couldn't watch because I thought, oh God, I know it's going to go terribly wrong. So I left. I went off to practice, and came back a while later, and he had opened some page on my computer I'd never seen before, and I was like, what's that? And he said, oh, I pressed this button, this dropped down, I dragged this over here, and I thought, that's cool. And he'd opened this whole kind of loop and sample library thing, and I started playing with those, and just kind of got into electronica.
Oh.
And also industrial sounds and computer sounds, and so I kicked the kid out of the studio and started making a record. It still has world music, and eventually I invited friends to come and play and do all that, but there's a lot more technology in this one.
Well, and that's what I kind of find fascinating, because a lot of rock bands and a lot of alt-rock people and singer-songwriters, they're going stripped down, they're doing it bare bones, live to tape kind of thing.
Yeah.
And here you are.
Going the other direction.
Everything, on computers.
Well, you know what it is? I've been, obviously acoustic instruments and, ancient instruments has always sort of been where I live. And I think it's fun to kind of mix the very modern sounds with the ancient ones. I mean, we have the Armenian duduk, which is one of the oldest instruments that, that is still around being played. It's, I think, 3,000 years old. And it's like the great-great-grandfather of the saxophone. And we have it sitting in a track, with loops and weird industrial sounds. And for me, that's interesting. It's like time is collapsing into this little bubble. And I want to be sort of the Byzantium or the Constantinople. You remember? Yes. You remember that city? It was sort of ancient city, and all cultures had to pass through there on their way to somewhere else. And I always imagine what would a market have sounded like, with all these different kinds of music 1,000 years ago mixing together. And so I wanted to make a record like that, but not just cultures, time, different time passing through the same location.
It's interesting because, when we ask the artist, what's your future hold, or where's your next album going to go? And it's like, earth-breaking sounds, but you always manage to go back to history. So I wonder, you're such a talented guitar player. How does one keep evolving and keep on moving forward?
I think of music as being sort of a sandbox. You just go in there and you start playing and then trying to find something that makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and that's it. On this record, it started being computers, and it ended up adding a little sort of funkadelic in there and whatever. I just kind of added things until I liked what I heard. And I sort of think that's the job of the artist, is to keep trying to find something new, some sound you haven't heard before. I think people often will say, why don't you make a record like, those old ones you used to make? And I sort of feel, well, because I've already made them. I want every record, I want to try something new. I mean, it's still me playing, but it's got to be, I got to go somewhere different each time.
Is it different now with children and family?
Oh yeah, it's very different. I mean, it means now, life on the road is actually kind of like a holiday. And then when I get home, I got to go to work, and shuttle the kids around and do all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's perfect. Well, we're so happy to have you back here. And what is it about Winnipeg that you always kind of put us on the map for tours?
Oh, I love it here. I love it here. I don't know. There's an electricity. I don't know if it's just this venue or the people here. I meet Winnipeggers, outside of Winnipeg are always telling me there's an amazing music scene, and I can understand why, because I sort of think that people really love music here. They really, whenever we play on the stage, I just find there's an electricity. Like people are, really, into their music. They really get into it, and it's fun. As a performer, that's really gratifying.
And we always love Jesse Cook, so welcome back.
Thank you.
For Backstage 30, I'm Tracy Kogan.